Hey guys, welcome back to Econ class. Today we're going to be covering marginal analysis. And as I was preparing for this lesson, I really got sad because this first unit of Econ is supposed to be enjoyable. And it's the best of the best in terms of concepts that we cover. And since we're doing a virtual and or virtual hybrid model in class, there's a lot of things that I can't do in class. So I've chosen to make this video a little bit more enjoyable by using myself as a guinea pig with a giant jar of peanut butter to explain what marginal analysis is. All right, objectives for today, we're going to define what marginal analysis is, because basically it's just making a decision at the margin. And marginal decision making, as you will see throughout today's presentation, is comparing the extra cost and the extra benefits of a decision. All right, one of the best examples I can give you is when you hit that snooze button in the morning. Most of us don't jump right out of bed. Some do. But most of us make a marginal decision every morning. We hit that snooze button. We get 5 minutes extra sleep, 10 minutes extra sleep, whatever it is. Mine's a weird time. It's like 6 minutes. I don't know why. Anyways, we hit that button. We get 6 more minutes of sleep. That's that marginal benefit we're going to get. And the marginal cost of that decision is the lost time. So we continue to hit that button until we've kind of perfected it. So we've gotten as much sleep as we can, and we know that hitting it one more time is going to cause us to lose enough time getting ready that it's going to be, unbearable. So we manage it. We add to our decisions, we take away from our decisions in order to get that perfect, outcome and maximize our satisfaction, because that's what optimizing individuals do. Now, next, differentiate between marginal and total utility. Calculate total and marginal utility using different tables and graphs. And then use cost-benefit analysis to assess a decision, whether or not it's a good decision or a bad decision. All right. Hopefully you'll follow along with this. In the description below, I've added a PDF of this worksheet. The top part is what we cover in the video. The bottom part is what we're going to be doing in the next video, a little bit of practice with marginal analysis, something that's very, very useful on the exam. All right, but to start us off, we must explain what utility is, okay? In this example, I'm going to be eating spoonfuls of peanut butter, approximately 4 tablespoons apiece. I'm going to eat a giant scoop. That's about a serving size, okay? And we're going to measure how much utility or satisfaction I get from each scoop, okay? So our first point on this experiment, I have consumed 0 scoops of peanut butter. I have 0 total utility, and my marginal utility is 0. Now, by the end of this, hopefully you understand what everything is. All right, so let's do our first bite here. Let's say that's 2 tablespoons, maybe 3, 4, I don't know. That is a lot of peanut butter. Okay, it's going to be a little harder than I thought. But anyway, that gave me a lot of utility. I have not eaten today, especially for this video. So I was starving before that bite. Although it went down a little hard, I feel a lot better. I'm going to say that gave me about 30 utils of satisfaction. Okay? Now, you're wondering right now, what is a util, Mr. Yeager? A util is a hypothetical measurement of utility. It's so we can compare different items, like comparing peanut butter to that of jelly or that to buying a car. These all have different measurements of utility, so we just use this common denominator in a sense. So probably the only place you're ever going to hear what a util is in an econ classroom and in an econ textbook. All right, now on to the second one, the difference between total utility and marginal utility. Now I'm going to take another bite to kind of help explain this. Oh, no. Okay. So that's about 2 servings of peanut butter right there. All right. Now, that second one did give me satisfaction as well. I'm going to say I got about 20 utils of satisfaction from that particular bite. Now, my total utility is up on the table up to about 50 utils. All right. Now, so the total utility is one thing, marginal utility is another. Now, marginal translates into extra or additional. So the marginal utility I just received from that second bite was about 20 utils. I got 30 from my first, 20 from my second. When we add up all the marginal utility we received from something, that gives us our total utility. I'm going to do one more bite and see where that lands me. Four. All right, I'm going to measure that one at about 15 utils of satisfaction. Not quite the 20 I got in the second one, and definitely not that satisfaction I got from the first one after being hungry all day long. So right now my total utility jumped up to 65 because the additional utility I got from that third bite was 15 utils. All right, so the difference between total and marginal utility is total is everything, marginal is just the extra from each additional unit that I consume. All right, now on to diminishing marginal utility. Now this is a concept that we're seeing happen as I am consuming more and more peanut butter. So let's have one more bite real quick. It's still good, but it's a lot of peanut butter to be eaten. So in this case, I'm going to give that one 10 utils. All right, and we're noticing a trend here as I eat more and more peanut butter, that this amount of satisfaction I get from the consumption of it starts to go down. I'm still getting satisfaction. I'm still getting utility. It's just less and less each bite that I take. So that's what diminishing marginal utility is. It's the decrease in marginal utility, the diminishing marginal utility, as I consume more and more. Eventually it starts to go negative at some point. But I really like peanut butter, so we'll see how long it's going to take. All right. Now, we do need to bring in marginal cost. All right. Every time we make a decision, there is going to be a cost. Now, we haven't quite covered in opportunity cost yet, but whether or not I'm paying for each unit that I'm using, like imagine going to Taco Bell and looking at the dollar menu or the value menu. You know, every $1 burrito that you buy, you have to pay $1 for it. So you're going to get satisfaction from eating it, but each additional one that you pay, you have to pay an extra fee for it. Now, everything that we do has some sort of cost. Now, in this case, I could be eating something else. I could have bought something else. So every bite that I take, I have a cost with it as well. Every time you hit your alarm clock, you lose time getting ready for school, getting ready for work, whatever it is. So that marginal cost is that extra cost that we incur. Let's do another bite. All right, starting to get a little dry. Anyways, I'm going to say 5 units. It's still good. I'm still hungry a little bit, but I'm starting to get full. So each additional bite is starting to get a little bit less. So I could have eaten something else, but instead I ate that bite of peanut butter. So I gave up some other choice. When you choose something, you're always giving something up. There's always a cost to every decision we make. Sleeping 5 more minutes means you have 5 minutes less to get ready. So every time we make a marginal decision and we get marginal utility, we give up something and experience that marginal cost. Now, marginal analysis as a whole is simply comparing the extra costs of something to the extra benefit. In that case, you know what? I've already opened this jar of peanut butter. It's not like each individual bite costs. So as long as I'm getting satisfaction, it's worth doing. But if you're in that drive-thru and you're ordering that one additional burrito, if that burrito isn't going to give you enough satisfaction and be worth the money that you're going to spend, you're not going to add that extra one to it. You might stop at 4, you might stop at 3. So we add to and take away from our decisions, and that's what marginal analysis is. Now, assumptions. Rational people make decisions at the margin. You're hitting your snooze button in the morning. You're buying until you think the marginal cost is going to outweigh the marginal benefit. We make decisions like that. A rational decision maker will agree if the marginal benefit equals or exceeds the marginal cost. So that optimizing individual, he's only going to make the decision if the marginal benefit outweighs the marginal cost or equals. I'll show you the equation on the other line, or the next slide. Now, let's do one more bite. A lot of peanut butter. This right here is what we call a point of indifference. I really didn't get any satisfaction out of that one. I'm pretty full. I'm tired of peanut butter at this point, even though I like it. That one kind of put me over. So I really didn't receive any satisfaction. I'm not any better off. I'm not any worse off in this situation. My total utility is still 80. I just didn't get any marginal satisfaction from that, or marginal utility. So in this situation, I'm at that point of indifference. It doesn't matter whether or not we make that decision. Now, this is the rule that we have to follow. If the marginal benefit is greater than or equal to the marginal cost, an optimizing individual will make that decision. So anytime the marginal benefit is greater, we'll do it. And if it's equal to, that's a point of indifference, like that last bite I just took. It's kind of like, I could do it, I could not. We make the assumption that the optimizing individual will do it at that point of indifference. So as long as the marginal benefit equals the marginal cost, we will be good. Now, let's do one more bite. All right, now this is really getting hard to go down. So, and it's getting stuck a little bit as it goes down because it's so dry. So I'm going to have to go on that one a negative. I think my satisfaction at this point is starting to really decline. Okay, so that one we're going to take 10 away from our total satisfaction. I am currently at that marginal utility was a negative 10 on that one. I am now, my total utility is down to 70. Still ahead of where I was to begin with, because before I ate, I was at 0. Now I'm at 70. So better off. However, that's not how we make decisions. We don't do all or nothing decisions. We make marginal decisions because I would have been better off not eating that last bite. I would have had 80. So when we make marginal decisions, we can actually fine-tune and maximize our satisfaction to where it should really be. All right. Now, after I take another bite, another big one. All right. So there is an important concept that you need to understand. I bought this jar of peanut butter. It cost me about $4.99. But that jar of peanut butter at this point is a sunk cost. And I really should ignore that sunk cost, all right? Because I just lost another 15 units of satisfaction right there, forcing that down. I'm now down to 55. Let's do one more real quick. You're going to handle one more. That was a big one too. All right, the crunchy peanut butter kind of like scrapes its way down when it doesn't want to go down. So definitely a negative on that one. I'm going to say I just lost 20 units of satisfaction and I'm getting really full at this point. So let's just emphasize one more time that we have to look at the extra costs and the extra benefits. There was no extra benefit for me on that last one. However, I'm still at 45 units of satisfaction. I am better off than when I started with this jar of peanut butter. I could have been better off if I would have stopped at 6 units. If I would have taken 6 bites and left it at that, I would have had 80 units of satisfaction. But because I shoved those last 3 down, I lost another 45 units of 45 units of satisfaction, and I'm down to 35 right now. So I'm still better off than when I started, but I could have been better off. That's why we look at marginal decisions and not all or nothing decisions. All right. I think that covers everything. I hope you enjoyed that. All right. Please take a look. That worksheet that I included at the beginning and down in the description, there's another practice problem dealing with another scenario, and you get all the information right from it. So take a look at that marginal analysis sheet, and then take a look at the video after you're done. And please make sure you're taking a look at the next one on consumer choice, because it takes this idea of marginal analysis and then it starts to apply it to more than one item. You know, choosing between 2 different items and how we're going to maximize our satisfaction. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Take care and see you guys next time.